September 11th, 2001 was a day that changed the lives of Americans who lived through it. The feelings of domestic safety and security were taken away by a mysterious foreign force. Late 1990s airport security in the United States was not well controlled. There was no organized national security agency as we have now. The security of U.S. airports was privately based and had increased variability. A terrorist organization known as Al-Qaeda took advantage of this weak system to carry out their goals. On the morning of that fateful day, multiple Islamic terrorist extremists breached security to hijack 4 airplanes. The planes were used to attack innocent civilians in specific locations. 1 plane crashed in a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, 2 more in the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City, New York, and a final plane collided into the Pentagon near Washington, D.C. The perpetrators of the attacks essentially committed suicide as the attacks carried out. Many people came together and rushed to the scene of the World Trade Center to help victims. Brave citizens became first responders that day. Commercial boatsmen sailed to the scene to help people escape. Around 3,000 people lost their lives. The heartbreak and suffering was felt across the nation. The attacks attempted to incite fear into the American public, as the perpetrators disagreed with the American values and the American way of life. Numerous were shocked and alarmed. It was easy to isolate yourself from the rest of the world's problems and violence until it was right there in front of you. George W. Bush would later give an iconic speech about the strength and resilience of the U.S., and his administration would launch an ongoing war on terror. My father, Shepard Labrie, was 30 when the attacks occurred. He had a 1-year-old child, my sister, and was in the process of settling down with my mother. When I interviewed him about his experience, he recalls being heartbroken. He didn't know how to feel. He was unsure of future violence, and he feared for his life and the people that he loved. Members of his community were overwhelmed with sadness or anger. There was an aura of uncertainty and unease. Still impacting his decisions today, 9/11 made him realize the fragility of life and how valuable it is for him to have his family currently. He thought that America was strong and acted accordingly, yet how could future suffering be prevented? Hardest of all for him was the loss of a longtime childhood friend who was working in the Twin Towers that day. Not to speak for him, I recorded a portion of our interview.
I knew Peter Hansen from high school, and we were acquaintances, and basically I went to a small high school and everyone kind of knew each other, and throughout high school he was a fun guy and really into the Grateful Dead, and he used to frequent concerts and have fun, and took his parents and really enjoyed life. And after high school, he got married and had a little daughter, and they were on the flight on September 11, 2001 from Boston to California, and that one hit the Trade Center. And the last known contact he had with his family was from the plane before it actually impacted the Trade Center. And after he perished, I believe it was Facebook and through word of mouth that I found out that he had died along with his young daughter and wife. And there has been a memorial for him annually at my alma mater, his alma mater, Joe Barlow High School. And he was just a fun-loving spirit that shouldn't have been lost too soon.
There are thousands of more stories like my father's, and they all share the same shock and pain that his holds. Even if not having directly known someone who died or was injured, the stories circulated to permeate the bubble of safety in America. People realized that anything could happen and they could soon become another victim. It was a tough time of paranoia and fear that fizzled out slowly. From this living history assignment, I personally learned that tragedy can strike at any time. I learned that it's important to value the people in your life today, as unexpected circumstances could rip them away when you least expect it. Thank you.